welcome to the Parenting Breakthrough, where we empower parents with tools, strategies, and insights to help their kids thrive. I'm Coach Rich, your host and fellow parent. So today we're going to be talking about one of the most critical skills you need as a parent, advocating for your child's needs at school. So, this is especially for kids with some sort of neurodivergence, autism, ADHD, ODD, etc. So whether you're navigating, an IEP, individualized education plan, or a 504, requesting some kind of accommodations, dealing with pushback from staff at school, this is going to equip you with some actionable steps to make sure that your kid gets the support that they deserve. So why does advocacy matter? Well, as a parent, you're your kid's greatest advocate. Schools often have limited resources, and it's up to you to make sure your kids' needs are understood and also met. The biggest challenges here are lack of understanding about what a neurodivergent kid needs, resistance from the school due to budget constraints or misconceptions. And, let's face it, these things can be complex for everyone involved. The IEPs, the 504 plans, the response to intervention or RTI. Just remember that it's not about being combative. It's about collaboration. So you're building a partnership with the school to help your kids succeed. So the first step is to understand your child's needs. It starts with gathering documentation. And this can be formal things like reports from doctors, therapists, and other professionals in your life, just to outline your kid's diagnosis and what they're being challenged by and recommended accommodations. But it's also extemporaneously just documenting on your own what you see, because what you're seeing at home might differ from what teachers and other folks at your school are seeing. So having all of this laid out, every time you notice that your kid's having trouble with a certain transition, a certain kind of overwhelm, a certain kind of sensory overload, write it down, keep a running list, a Google document, something, so that you can share it with the folks at the school so they can see what you're going through, and you two can compare notes with what they're seeing. Next is to know your kids' strengths and weaknesses. So creating a list of what are their unique abilities and where are the areas where they need support. So for example, they might really excel in math and love doing math, but struggle with reading comprehension or reading something and then answering questions about it. Or they might struggle with transitions or sensory overload. And again, adding this to your notes so that you can share it in an organized way with the folks you're collaborating with at the school is going to be really helpful. Last action step to take here is educating yourself. So learning about the laws that protect your kid, such as the Individuals with Disability Education Act, or IDEA, Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, and the Americans with Disabilities Act. And, just dig into these. You can Google them and really get at least a surface level understanding of what public schools are required to do for you. If you're dealing with a private school, they're not typically as bound by these things, which leads a lot of families with neurodivergent kids to actually find ways to be in public schools. I'm not going to break all these individual things down for you. The information is out there, but just educate yourself. So keep a folder, keep a digital file with all the relevant stuff. It's going to be invaluable during meetings with school staff. So step 2 here is to build those relationships with the folks at your kid's school that can make a difference. When you establish a positive relationship with the teachers, counselors, administrators, the advocacy becomes a collaborative effort rather than a confrontation. Start early with this. Introduce yourself and just establish that your kid has some additional needs at the beginning of the school year. Request a meeting to discuss how you can work together. Have regular communication going on a calendar on an ongoing basis, through email, through notes, through scheduled check-ins just to stay updated on your child's progress. A lot of parents deal with getting random, unexpected communication from folks at the school about things that the teachers are having trouble with. And actually having these regular communications scheduled and on the calendar will help avoid some of that overwhelm for you of getting that unexpected communication from the school. Last and most important thing to me is to show appreciation. Recognize and thank the school staff when they make an effort. A little gratitude can go a very long way toward building goodwill. Send a positive email to your kid's teacher this week. Just thank them for their support. Express your desire to work together. Appreciation for teachers kind of flies under the radar, and they, just like anybody, they probably hear more from unhappy, disgruntled parents than they hear from happy, satisfied ones. In this positive email sent in a proactive way, they're going to feel that. They're going to appreciate it. Step 3 here is to know the process. Just understand how IEPs and 504s work. An IEP is a legally binding document that outlines special education services and accommodations tailored to your kid's needs. And it requires a formal evaluation and also an eligibility determination. A 504 plan provides accommodations that ensure your kid has equal access to education, but doesn't require any specialized instruction. So the steps you can take if you don't have either of these in place. Requesting an evaluation is step 1. So if your kid doesn't already have an IEP or a 504, just submit a written request for an evaluation to the school's special education department. You may have to go up to the district level to do this. Prepare for your meetings. Bring documentation. Have a list of all your questions ready to go and a clear idea of what you're advocating for. Examples might include extended test times, some sensory breaks, or even an aid. And review the plan carefully. Don't hesitate to ask for clarifications and revisions. You are an equal participant in this process. The school is not dictating to you. You're a collaborator on this. If it's going to be helpful for you, you can bring a friend, a family member, an advocate, or even a professional to these meetings for additional support and additional perspective, and they'll ask questions that you might not have thought of. Next step I want you to think about is advocating effectively. So how do we do this? 1, stay calm and focused. Emotional discussions can derail progress. Just stick to the facts. Frame requests around your kid's best interest. Use I statements, so avoid being accusatory and saying, when you do this, that creates a problem, X, Y, and Z. Just frame it in terms of, I'm concerned about how my kids' sensory needs are affecting their ability to focus in class. And I want you to be persistent, not aggressive. So you can follow up on requests and document conversations and hold the school accountable without getting into a flame war and burning bridges. Think of yourself as kind of a salesperson here, right? You're selling them on what you need. So you can practice your pitch, right? But just writing down key points you want to address in your next meeting. So how do we overcome some roadblocks here? Because chances are we're going to run into some. Common things we'll see are resistance from the school. Some schools might push back on accommodations because of limited resources. Just be prepared to cite the laws and advocate firmly, again, being friendly and calm, but firm. The school might see a lack of progress. And if your kids' needs aren't being met, then they're going to push back against what they're giving you, potentially. So request additional meetings or reevaluations if that's the case. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, I know advocacy can be draining. Just remember to seek support from parent groups, other advocates, other parents who have been through what you're going through, or look into some legal resources if need be. Roadblocks are going to be part of the process, probably. Just stay focused on the goal, getting your kid the support they need to thrive. So thank you for listening to today's episode of The Parenting Breakthrough. Advocacy is a skill that takes time to build, but every step you take makes a difference for your kid. Just remember, you're not alone in this. If you found this episode helpful, please share with another parent. Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Until next time, keep advocating, keep believing, keep showing up for your kid. You're making a huge impact for them. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day.